The CS2 market is finally bouncing back. We are up 2% in the last 7 days. No, I'm just joking, but we finally are, starting to see a nice little bounce here, as you guys can see. We are starting to reclaim some space here, closing in on $5 billion yet again, up about 6.5% in the last 90 days. So this is a very good start. And I do think that the market has been pretty bottomed out since going all the way back to about roughly the 22nd of July after the trade revert update. And we have been talking about this. We've been utilizing this time to really, tap into some nice investments. And in this video, I actually want to go over a few investments that I recently talked about that are doing very, very good. Now, before we continue, I just want to quickly say thank you to everyone that's been watching the channel, that's been subscribing to the channel as well. We are closing in on, I think, like 325 subs or something like that. So if you guys are new to the channel, I do ask, if you do enjoy this video, definitely leave a subscribe and definitely turn notifications on to never miss a future update. Now, let's dive on in and let's talk about a few things. So the market is definitely heating up. Some of the more popular skins are starting to return back to their previous highs, which we love to see. We're still a little bit of ways away from those highs, but for the most part, the market is waking up. Now, one of the biggest things that we witnessed recently was the fever dream going up like 70% in the last 30 days. And across the board, it was pretty normal. Price action wasn't anything too crazy. I think that there's been a few skins that have been outliers during this time that a lot of people are jumping into and pretty much buying up supply, which is why we are starting to see a nice spike across the board. And again, the main thing that I've been looking at during this time isn't so much skins. I've definitely been making a few videos regarding skins, but if you guys have been watching the channel, I've been more so looking at cases, capsules, and stickers. If we actually look at cases, and let me make sure that we get rid of case hardened here. So if we look at the case market, it's not bouncing in a big way. Some of the cases are up a little bit in the last 7 days, but for the most part, they're still pretty flat, which is telling us there's still some nice buy opportunities out there for the case market. A few of the cases that we've been talking about are still pretty flat right now. Probably, going to take a little bit more time for them to actually bounce in a big way. But again, I expect this to happen over the course of like the coming weeks, not, overnight. But we've also been looking at stickers, and we know for a fact that the sticker market has been just going insane. And let me just get rid of AK-47 here just so that we can look at the sticker market. A few stickers that we were looking at were like the Evil Geniuses ones. I think that they were like the biggest outlier during this time. I mean, we could even see it just from the Stockholm 2021 Holo, up 400+% in the last 30 days. It made a big wave in the market, but this also allowed us to research and tap into some stickers that were kind of, I would say, just consolidating before they started to catch up to some of these other stickers, like for an example, the Stockholm 2021 collection, because most of that collection was just going crazy, as you guys can even see in terms of like the Vitality Holo, which was up 250+% in the last 30 days. Perfect World up 200+%. This was the Shanghai 2024. Also the Simple Holo from Stockholm 2021 as well, 344% in the last 30 days. So again, most of the sticker market was just going insane. Now, one of the stickers that I was looking at, because we made the video regarding how these stickers went insane over the last 30 days. During this video, I was mainly looking at some other stickers to, look into during this time that were kind of, just consolidating. We did talk about some of the stickers within the Stockholm 2021 side of the market to tap into. But the main one that I was looking into was the one from August 6th that I uploaded, which was titled "These CS2 Stickers Will Make You Rich." It was the RMR Legends. Now, when we are thinking about the RMR Legends, and even from the thumbnail, if you guys actually see, we were looking at the Spirit 2020, not the Holo, but the foil. Let's look into the RMR sticker market. In the last 24 hours, the Evil Geniuses Holo is up 147%. Last 7 days, 193%. Also, the foil itself for Evil Geniuses up 34% in the last 24 hours, up 100 and almost 60% in the last 7 days. The Renegades Holo up 131% in the last 24 hours, 184% in the last 7 days. And just going down the list, it's insane. A lot of the foils have started to really move up in the market. One that I actually bought quite a bit of, and this is actually even after that video, was the heroic foil. That's up 57, almost 58% in the last 24 hours, up 141% in the last 7 days. I mean, this is a crazy one to see a tremendous amount of gains, which we'll go in depth on. Outside of that, the 100 Thieves foil or holo, is up 67% almost in the last 7 days, or in the last 24 hours, up 150% in the last 7 days. Most of the holos started to gain a little bit, but I think for the most part, the foils were going crazy. For an example, I bought a ton of Vitality ones. They are up 58%, almost 59% in the last 24 hours, up 100 and almost 7% in the last 7 days. Just going down the list, a lot of the foils have been, like I said, going crazy. Even the God Sent ones, which is kind of surprising, but again, the RMRs were going crazy. Now, looking into this, just going off the Vitality one, because I want to talk about this, because the last 30-day high, we're only up about 17% from that. But the last 30-day low, we're up 150%. The main reason why we were talking about these foils is because of the supply on them. If we're looking at the supply, there's only about 3,000 of the Vitality foils. The supply change in the last 30 days is actually negative 368, which means the supply has diminished by almost 400 in just the last 30 days, which is why we're looking at these as solid investments. And we can actually see why the foil is more desirable than the holo. It's because the supply is much lower. You could argue, yeah, the golds are good as well. If we go back over here to the golds, let me just look up gold. So if we're looking at the gold market for this, again, a lot of these are going up in value. I'm not too sure. The Vitality one is, again, $1.95, so it's a lot more expensive because of the supply. But this is why I was looking at these other ones that were pretty cheap, because during this time, I think on, across the board, the value of this was pretty low. Let me just pull up real quick the Vitality one over on CSGO. So just let's look at real quick the market. So again, I posted this on August 6th, and just taking a quick look at the August 6th price action, the lowest price was about 22 cents. And during this entire time, we just started to see the market kind of squeeze, and you could see that big spike now to the upside. So this was a very good buy during that time. And again, it's because of the supply. Even when we're looking at the 100 Thieves RMR foil as well, again, the supply, 2,600. I was not looking at the gold at all. When we're thinking about the gold for this, let me go to the 100 Thieves real quick. So 100 Thieves, about $1.31. Again, you can see why, because of the supply. But I feel like the foils were so undervalued, which is why I said, I do think that this is going to be a very strong candidate for a good investment in this market right now. And even when we think about the foil for the 100 Thieves on csgoskins.gg, going back to August 6th, the price dropped a bit, but, we're back up in a big way. So we love to see that. Now, the actual sticker that we were looking at, which was the Spirit foil. Now, I said, and I utilized this one as an example. This is how I based the investment into the Vitality foils and all of the other foils that were pretty low during this time. It's because of the Spirit one. Obviously, we know that Spirit is an incredible team. Everyone is looking at Spirit right now. All eyes are on them. The foils were extremely low supply already. This change in supply was negative 286 over the last 30 days. But the biggest thing about this, right, is how much this sticker has gone up in value. Now, again, during that time in that video, which we'll go over here in a second, we could see, and let me scroll down real quick for you guys, we could see that the value of this has definitely gone up. I mean, by about like 40 plus cents or so. But again, during this time, the sticker was already $1 plus. So there was a difference here in value across the board. Even when it comes to like the Vitality sticker, again, August 6th, we were 22 cents. Again, the supply for both of these stickers were right around the same range, but the price action was so different on every single one of these. For an example, the 100 Thieves, again, we're still at 20 some cents. The Spirit sticker is already at $1.60. Now, you could say for a few reasons. Does the sticker look great in game? Sure, it does. Is it because Spirit is just a dominant, name in the space? Sure, you could argue that as well. But the main thing that I'm looking at here is the market dynamics. How the difference in value can affect all of these other stickers. It's the same reason why all of the Stockholm 2021 stickers went crazy after the EEG sticker went insane. The same goes with the RMRs. I think that the rest of the RMR market is now catching up to the Spirit foils. Even the heroic one, right? We could clearly see that with the heroic one just going crazy from around August 5th, August 6th. We're at about 18 cents or so here. By the way, I do think that these stickers look incredible. A lot of people don't like the outline on these, but I actually think that they look great. If anything, I don't like the hollows. I think that the hollow looks horrible in game, which is also a reason why I just kind of avoid them. It's not just the supply, side of things. It's also the outline. I don't really like them at all. But not to lose track here real quick, the heroic foil, if we're looking at it from the Prime Empire site, let's go back real quick. Let me just look up foil. So looking at the heroic one is also up in a big way. I know it's different if we're looking at like CSGO.gg because this is going off of Buff's price, I believe. Let me just make sure. I believe that they're pulling it from Buff. Yeah, 41 cents. So this thing is up in a big way going off of the lows. It all really just depends on what market you're looking at, like CS.money, 17 cents, one listing. Some of these other exchanges, the prices are going to be a little bit different. But on Steam, if we go to Steam real quick and we go to the heroic, I have it open up in a tab, or at least I thought I did. Let me go back over here to Steam because I was looking at the RMR stickers just earlier today, actually, just looking to see how the market is doing on them. And they were looking pretty crazy, especially a lot of the prices, the spikes that we're seeing. So let me go to the second page. I believe heroic is on, I thought it was on the second page, but I guess it's on the third page. Maybe I overlooked it. There's a lot of red stickers in here. So maybe it is on the second page and I just was overlooking it. I gotta type it up. I'm completely blinded right now. Sorry. So here we actually have it. So again, when we are looking at the heroic sticker, we could see that the price action has been pretty flat on Steam, but we were at about roughly 26 cents. There was a lot of stickers sold for about like 40 cents or so. The market is kind of squeezing here. A lot of these sell orders, I mean, once we see this really squeeze, I feel like these heroic stickers could easily hit the high, dollar plus range. It's going to take a little bit of time because there's still a lot of active sell orders around these levels. But currently speaking, 908 sell orders. Most of these are going to squeeze into like 43 or 50 plus cents. I really do feel like this is a very solid sticker choice. I just feel like the 2020 RMRs were a very good choice when I made that video because of the supply change on a lot of these stickers. The outlier here was the Spirit foil. I think that this was like the major dynamic change in the market where a lot of people were just looking at these stickers and a lot of them were just so undervalued compared to the Spirit sticker. And the supply was not crazy different. Like if we think about the supply here, they were all very similar to the, Spirit 2020 RMR. Even if we're thinking about it from going over here real quick to the foils, let's just look at the supply here. The Astralis one is the lowest supply, which is why it has $2.14. But look at some of these other stickers, like the Phase foil, $8.49 on Buff, which is crazy compared to all of these other ones that are just low in like the sub-dollar range. So the Spirit one is not even the biggest outlier here. The Buff price across the board, you can kind of see it. I mean, some of these are pretty crazy, but there's no major difference here besides the fact that maybe Spirit and Phase are sought after. I just think that a lot of these have a lot of catching up to do, which is giving us, that change in the market of, all right, well, if all of these are going crazy and some of these are not really changing at all, maybe those would be a good investment. I think that strategy is very solid and it has been working out on a lot of these stickers, especially even the Stockholm 2021s, which is why I did recommend the RMRs. And so far it's been doing very well. And I still think that they have a tremendous upside potential here, especially considering the supply and even the capsule itself. When we're looking at the capsule, it's starting to go up a lot in value. It recently just hit a low of about roughly 11 cents on the market bottom. We're back to about like 20 some cents. I still think that the capsule might be a good investment because I think that we could hit the high range back here from like 2023, which was close to like 50 cents. So the value here, you know, you could double your money investing into the capsule pretty easily, in my opinion. And, you know, the supply on this, if we actually go back real quick to Price Empire, let's look up the actual capsule real quick. It's the Legends. So let me go to the capsule. Let me, 1 second. Here we go. So when we are looking at the actual capsule for the Legends, we could see that the new supply has changed by about 5,400. The total supply for this is about 45, almost 46,000. Now you might say, well, that supply is significant. You could argue that, but the more and more that this case is open, and right now the price is pretty cheap, I feel like the supply is going to diminish greatly. And I really do think that a lot of people will hunt some of the stickers in here, especially if a lot of these other stickers, like the foils, for example, go up in value. People will look at them and they will pretty much hunt the most expensive ones. Currently speaking, FaZe is like the top one right now, and Astralis as well. But they're not to the point where the actual capsule is to that stage where everyone wants to open this to try to hunt those. But I do think at some point in time, it could get to that stage. So I do think that the capsule itself is going to be a good investment, but right now I would also be looking into some of the outliers that haven't changed in a huge way in terms of value, because some of the charts for these still look bottomed out, which is telling us that we could start to see a big shift in the market to the upside on some of these stickers. But so far this has worked out, and I'm very happy about it. And I hope that a lot of you possibly listened and, are also enjoying the market change for the RMRs. I will definitely be looking into other stickers as well and giving you guys my insights on some additional investments to tap into around the sticker and capsule space. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. And with that being said, guys, Nick, thanks for watching. Peace out.